frustration. You've got the drive, you've got the vision, but every time you look at a deal, it's as if high prices hit you right in the face, soaring interest rates, stubborn sellers, and deals that barely cash flow. It's as if the game is rigged to keep the beginners out. And I hear you, I understand you, and quite frankly, I am tired of seeing aspiring investors just like you get squeezed out of the game. But here's the truth. The truth is, the game isn't rigged. It's just misunderstood. So in today's video, I'm going to turn your raw frustration into actionable solutions. The same solutions we teach our students every single day. So in this video, I'm going to break down for you the 3 proven techniques that will help you secure your first deal no matter where you're starting from. All right, so if you are a beginner, if you're just starting out and you're so frustrated, I'm going to show you how you can afford your first multifamily property. All right, let's get started. But before I get started, if you have any questions for me on anything, especially on these 3 techniques, please reach out to me and text me at 833-942-4516 and I'll get right back at you. Let's get started. Okay, you just heard me talk about turning your frustrations into practical solutions. The first solution today is creative financing. This is something you really have to learn in today's tight market. I produced a longer video on creative financing that you can watch. The link will appear. Check it out after this video, okay? So now I want to introduce to you 2 techniques, okay? Now, creative financing is best used, okay? And I'm sure we can all relate to this when bank loans don't work, okay? Let's say the interest rates are too high, or you don't qualify, you don't have enough money, or the numbers just don't pencil out, okay? It could be you. It could be you have, your credit isn't good enough, but you have the money. Or how about you have very little money, but you have good credit, all right? How many of you fit in that category, okay? So this is when creative financing would work, because the title's video is how you can afford your first multifamily investment no matter where you're starting, okay? So this is one of you, listen up. The first strategy is one of my favorites. It's called the master lease agreement, okay? Think of a lease option kind of like on steroids, okay? So a lease option is used in residential. We use a master lease agreement for commercial multifamily, okay? We do not put an option on the property. No one wants to give someone an option to buy their property when it's $1 million property. We have a master lease agreement. We have an agreement to lease it and then buy it, okay? There's no option, okay? All right, this is why it's so effective and so popular, right? Because first of all, there's no banks involved, okay? There's no credit, there's no appraisals needed. The down payment can be whatever you and the seller come up with. Our default at our company is 10% down, and we do quite a bit of it, okay? All right, and then for the seller benefit, there's no capital gains to pay because it's not a sale, it's a lease, okay? So basically, the seller gets a down payment, and you get control of you get complete control of the property, right? So seller gets a down payment, you take over the property, you have rights to all the cash flow, you don't get depreciation, but all the other tax benefits are yours. And then a certain time period later, you have to pay off the seller, okay? So it's like a lease option, but there's no option. We are going to buy it. So how you set up your master lease is very important because the exit strategy needs to be executed, okay? This is why our students join the mentoring program, so we can teach them how to predict and execute an exit strategy. And that is, an exit strategy is to get the money out of the property, okay? All right, so that's technique number 1, is the master lease agreement. Again, one of my favorites. Second is a seller carry second mortgage. This is a second technique you have to learn. This is when you need down payment assistance, okay, from the seller, okay? So let's say that the bank is requiring 25% down, okay? But you only have 15%, right? In this case, a seller carry second would work because you can put down the 15% and then the seller will contribute the other 10%, thereby satisfying the bank's requirement for 25%, okay? So here's how it works. The seller becomes the bank for you, Okay, he carries a part of the down payment as a loan to you in second position. So when you do a seller carries second structure, there's a first mortgage from the bank, and underneath that first mortgage is a second mortgage in second position, and that's the second, maybe the 10% that he's going to cover for you. He becomes the bank. Okay, so bank's in position number one, and then the seller is position number two. Okay. And the question is, why would a seller do that? Okay, the reason why seller carries second mortgage works so many times is because it makes the seller's property more attractive. Okay, especially if he wants a higher price. Okay, all right. So master lease agreement, seller carries second. I have a video on both techniques where I break down both examples, but this is solution number one that you have to learn, right? In a very top market like it is today. All right, okay, that's solution number one. Let's go solution number two. Got questions? Simply text the word Peter to 833-942-4516 and we'll help you. All right, here is solution number two of how you can afford your first multifamily property, and that is using other people's money. Okay, we call this private money. Okay, using private money, or OPM, using other people's money. And there's lots of videos out there on how to structure this, how to do that. I'm not going to spend time on this. I have a video that I want you to watch. It's called Raising Money is Easy When the Deal is Right. So watch that video. You can see how to structure all this. What I want to do is give you a real life example of one of our students. Okay, so we have a student, I call her Soccer Mom. Okay, this is her first deal. And it's a 12-unit property. You can see the picture right there. It was purchased off market. Okay, that's our specialty. We rarely buy anything that's on the market, rarely. And this is why we're able to get it for $1,020,000. I have this word right here. Really, really, Peter? All right. So when most of y'all see, we have $1 million property for a 20-unit property for $1 million, you're gonna say that's unbelievable. It is believable if it's off market and it's in the Midwest. So if it's in California, it's not going to happen. If it's in New York, it's not going to happen. Somewhere in the Midwest, okay, you can do this. All right. So all you naysayers out there, this is for you. 12-unit for $1 million. Yes. Okay. Because it's off market. It's across the street from a major university, right? And this major university is, guess what? It's one of the SEC schools. Okay, so it's a major university, okay, not some rural town. All right, here's the situation. She needed a down payment of $160,000. All she had was $25,000. Okay, she had good credit, she had a house and everything. All right, and one cool thing is the lender that she found, and she went through about 8 or 9 lenders to find this one lender that's going to give her an 85% LTV. That means 15% down on a multifamily property, and she's a beginner. Okay, yes, these things do exist. Okay, if you know how to present the deal and yourself to a lender, this is what we teach our students to do. Okay, all right, and so here's a structure. I told her we're going to keep it really simple. Basically, she followed the directions in this video. Here's the structure. She put up 25,000, okay? And then her investor put up 135,000. And here's how we structured it. She gets 40% ownership and the investor gets 60% ownership. Now, you want it reversed, but this is her first deal and she wanted to get started and she wanted to under promise and over deliver to her investors. So we decided to let her do this structure. Okay, so she's going to become a 40% owner on $1 million deal for $25,000. Is that great leverage or what? And this is how she afforded her deal. Okay, so everything that she learned to do, she learned from here and from us as her mentors. If she can do it, so can you. All right, okay, that is solution number two. Let's go to solution number three. Every successful commercial real estate investor has a mentor. Get mentored by me and my team by applying to be our next protege. Click the top corner. Here is the third strategy that is going to help you afford to buy your first multifamily property. And that third strategy is starting small. Okay, it is absolutely okay to start small. It is okay. You do not have to buy 50 or 100 units first to get started in building wealth. You don't have to. In fact, for most parts, for everyone that's beginners, I don't recommend it. All right. So, in fact, even a fourplex, got it? A fourplex is okay to get started. It's absolutely okay because it gets you into the business of ownership, okay? Where you get to experience cash flow, all the tax benefits, appreciation, depreciation, paying down the principal and just building wealth. It gets you started. The con to this is that a fourplex is not commercial, okay? Only 5 units and greater is commercial, so a fourplex is not commercial, okay? But guess what? You get the same tax benefits, okay? Now, just real quick, a fourplex is residential, okay? Meaning that you have residential financing, right? And a fiveplex is considered commercial, all right? When you get commercial financing. So the financing is much more complicated on the commercial side, okay? The other thing on the commercial side that's maybe better than the fourplex is you get to force appreciation. You don't get to do that on the fourplex side, okay? So differences there. In fact, I have a video that differentiates a fourplex to fiveplex. You can watch that video there. All right. Okay. Now to one of the extreme benefits of starting off with a fourplex is the financing is so much easier. Okay. In fact, you can get an FHA loan with 3.5% down payment. You can actually do that. Okay. And we have a student, his name is Raul. He sold one of his fourplexes that he bought 5 or 6 years ago with this, and he sold it to a buyer who used a VA loan, and he put virtually nothing down. Okay, so if this guy can do it, so can you. Okay, but here's the catch. There's always a catch, right? Here's the catch. To use a FHA loan, it must be owner occupied. That means you have to live in one. Okay. There's a requirement, okay? I call this a form of house hacking, where you live in one. Sometimes it could be free, right? You build equity, you get the experience, and later on you trade up and you get a larger property, just like our student Raul is doing right now after he just sold his fourplex. Okay, all right. So there you have it. All right. Starting small again is absolutely okay. And for most of you, I recommend that you start small and scale up. I think it's just the wise thing to do. All right, so give me a few minutes now to wrap this up. Ever wondered how pro investors find and analyze deals for maximum profit? How to secure financing even if you're a beginner? Or attract and keep tenants for steady passive income? Commercial Real Estate for Beginners delivers simple, actionable steps to master it all. Tap the link on the top corner for your free copy today. All right, everyone, thank you so much for allowing me to wrap up this video with a very quick call to action to help you because I care about you, okay? I just share with you 3 proven and powerful strategies that will help you afford your first multifamily property. Those strategies are creative financing, using private money, OPM, and starting small, okay? Half of the battle is just knowing your strategies, okay? The other half is taking action, and that's where I want to help you, okay? So if you're ready to bust through your frustration, close your first deal, get personalized guidance, and then get direct access to these proven strategies and more, I invite you to explore our mentoring program. The link will appear on the screen. Click on the link and explore. So here's something about our mentoring program. So it is not a quick fix. I'll just tell you that from me to you. It's not a quick fix. It is not a magic bullet either, okay? It's a structured approach. I am a former engineer with a degree in physics, and it's a step-by-step guide because of my background. And you're gonna get a personalized plan. And if you need 5 days of coaching per week, we offer that to you. Okay, so if you're looking to move beyond just knowing and taking massive action and change your life, go ahead and check out our mentoring program. All right, everyone, that's all for today. If you hung out with me this long, you are absolutely my favorite, and I appreciate you very much. All right, I'll see you at the next video.